I decided that I am not going to allow the opinions of others dictate how I see myself because I know the truth. People are always going to have something to say. And I decided that I'm going to live my truth whether they like it or not. This is my life. I know who I am. I know my truth. Now, I'd be lying if I were to say that it doesn't sting a little, or maybe even hurt my feelings. In this instance, unless unless this is subconscious, it's not that I am hurt by it as much as I am insulted, because, first of all, I know it's not true. But second, it's like this person has no right to be judging me as a person when they really should be looking at themselves and analyzing what's causing them to be so critical. And yeah, does it kind of hurt my feelings? Does it sting a little? Yeah. Especially when it's like you held this person in a high regard, and then you find out after the fact that they were talking about you and judging you. It's like, especially when they can be chummy or they can be nice, it reeks of disingenuousness and a lack of sincerity. Because it's like, they're being fake. Yes, they're being fake. They're going to sit there, smile on your face, and then after the fact you hear some of the things that they say, and it's true. It's true because, the person that would tell you wouldn't make that up. Yeah, but it's betraying. So, it's hurtful, but in the context of it being betraying. But then I had to ask myself, I'm like, am I living for this person's approval? Who are they? Especially when you consider the source. When you see how this person lives their life. When you see things that, maybe you were secretly judging, but you decided, it's not my business. And you just kind of rolled with it, and you're like, because you're not petty. You're not petty. You're not someone who's going to, talk about people behind their backs like that and stir up drama and, for no other reason other than the fact that you're probably bored or you're unhappy or whatever. But yeah, it's a trap to win for someone's approval, especially like when it's somebody that, lacks a certain amount of character. Now I know I sound judgy right now, and I am, because it's like, listen, you're going to go there. If you want to go there, then okay, let's talk about character. Let's talk about integrity. Let's talk about that. I'm not going to talk to this person, but I'm just saying, I just don't want to. I don't want to start drama because I don't want to. The person that told me, I feel like they would be a little upset or feel whatever, some type of way. And plus, this person's not worth it. This person is not worth it. The one I'm talking about, it's not worth it. So why should I wait for her approval? For what? Like, who is she? Why should I? And I think that seeking approval is a trap. And whenever we're seeking for approval, because the person is not approving of us, or they're being critical, that's a trap. It's a trap of getting in the way of our success. It's a trap of getting in the way of us being destined for greatness. It's a trap for us to simply give them the satisfaction of failure. And that's something I am not prepared to do. At some point I realized, I'd rather be liked for being real in myself rather than, oh wait, sorry, let me say that again. Let me say that again. I'd rather be disliked for being real than liked or approved for being fake. With whatever cost that comes. I don't care what the cost is. I'm not going to sit there and not be true to myself. I'm not going to sit there and pretend to be someone I'm not. I'm not going to sit there and not live my truth because one person, or rather one bad apple, is making it seem like I'm not doing what I need to be doing, or I'm not doing what I need to be doing correctly. Again, it goes back to the idea, who the hell are they? I know who I am. I know what I've overcome. And, I don't need some person who's going to get upset because I have healthy boundaries, which, by the way, that kind of ties in specifically with this situation. Goodness, it's hot in Florida. I don't need somebody, you know, and if you put up boundaries and you you stick to those boundaries and somebody doesn't like it and you push them away, then that tells you that those boundaries are working. And that's another video idea. I'll talk about that another time. But it ties in with this because I have healthy boundaries and I'm helping someone close to me with their boundaries, and this other person doesn't like it. Those boundaries are working. But I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know my principles, and and that's their problem. There's a certain freedom that comes when you stop editing yourself for other people's comfort. It's quite liberating. For anyone who's struggling with the same thing, I see you. Don't be a watered down version of yourself for someone who frankly doesn't deserve that part of you, the part of you that where you like to be there for others and you're giving and considerate and you're willing to go the extra mile for pleasing other people. But this is not pleasing another person, it's pacifying them. And that only feeds their egoistic inclinations or narcissistic inclinations, what have you. So let them talk. You keep living your truth. You keep soaring and growing. And if you're on this journey too and you know how I feel, I'd love to hear your story. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I plan to post more videos about, real talk and just going into different topics of conversation about everyday life. And so I will see you in the next one.